Thank you. I'd like to introduce Doro Russell.
Right, I hope you can hear me at the back there. My name is Dorothea Russell. I'm campaign coordinator for North Dorset. First of all, thanks to Clive and Katie for coming along this weekend. It has been an absolute pleasure. And when you go back, and thanks for coming out to campaign with us. It was really, really lovely. Giving up your time was lovely. And Zara. Yeah. And when you go back to Westminster and Norwich, just give our warmest regards and my warmest regards to your brother. Thanks, wherever you are. Our Labour Party is the party of compassion and humanity. And that is why I joined almost 2 years ago, or rejoined, and I became active as campaign coordinator for North Dorset. I'm also a union rep, because for me, unionism and labour goes together, and I'm really proud to be part of both. I would like to quote the American author Frederick Buechner, who I have recently come across. Here's what he says: "The life I touch for good or ill will touch another life, and in turn another, until who knows where the trembling stops, or in what far place my touch will be felt." As a party, what we really set out to do is to touch lives in our communities for the better. At the beginning of this year, on a very cold and misty winter's day, my running friends, John and Clive, who live in the French Pyrenees, found a puppy shivering under a bin in a picnic area. They were on a run, went home, got the car, went back, and the pup was still there. She was frightened, and it took a lot of biscuits to convince her that there might be a better life than being under a bin and wait for the people who abandoned her to come back and love her once again. They took her home. Although Kath and John are heavily involved in the running of their local dog refuge, they did not take the pup there because she was so cold and hungry they could not bear the thought of leaving her. They fostered her while I promised to adopt her. Another set of friends brought her over to England, and now she has a new home and a new life in Blandford. This heartwarming story attracted interest on Facebook, huge interest. Friends were sending loving wishes, emotional messages, crying, expressing concern, joy and love. There are many stories like this, and they are uplifting, and everything about them feels good and right. However, at the back of my mind, I ask myself why our society often does not show the same unconditional commitment when it comes to suffering in humans on our doorsteps. Many people go to great lengths trying to alleviate suffering on the other side of the world, crying at images on TV and sending vast amounts of money to save penguins and orphans thousands of miles away. All of which is very good. And yet, we are not moved in the same way by the suffering around us. The face of vulnerability in our society is not sweet and cute and adorable. The face of hunger and food banks is not uplifting. The face of homelessness and rough sleeping is not brimming with joy. The face of physical and mental pain is not happy and attractive. The face of loneliness of an older person trapped in a home is not cheerful. And the face of increasing loneliness in younger people is not adorable. The face of drug abusing is not beautiful, and the face of unemployment and poverty is not happy. All our channels of communication make us believe that only perfection and functionality are of value within and to society. And so we try everything to avoid engaging with vulnerability. We fail to connect with the human behind the less perfect mask of obvious hardship and find a category for everything that does not fit the perfect image and stick a label on it
Whoa.
And we point the affected to another category with a label for so-called help, which will maybe offer solutions further down the line, but quite possibly not in the very first instance of our encounter.
Yeah.
We fail to connect and engage on a human level with 3 simple words: we are here, or I am here. We might offer some help, but not much needed compassion or comfort.
Ooh, that's amazing.
Friedrich Büchner, who I quoted earlier, says, "The soul is like a wild animal, tough, resilient, and yet shy. Whenever we go crashing through the woods, shouting for it to come out so that we can help, it will stay in hiding. But if we are willing to wait for a while, it will show itself." As a party with amazing activists, we have a choice, we have a chance to genuinely connect with people and issues and build community based on our values that are inspired by compassion.
Yeah.
The homeless person is not a wishing well, a target for our coins or for the number of streetling to be flung at in the first instance. When we ask the rough sleeper, "What is your name?"
Yeah.
their eyes light up and they grasp the chance to really talk about their lives. They have sad and also good stories to share and are keen to do so. I have seen it many times. The category or label of homeless takes on a human face. A street event a few weeks ago in Blandford, when we were out with Labour, a young man comes up to me and says, "You used to be a teacher at my school." I don't recognize him and ask what he is doing now. "I'm homeless. I live in the woods." I ask him what that is like. The young man comes to life, telling me all about experiences in the day and at night and how he built a shelter and what he does in the woods, and about his wish to live up in Calder Woods in the north one day, his ultimate dream. Of course, I tell him at the end that I have spare camping equipment and that we are here to help, should he need any help. But in the absence of pity, he can enjoy 10 minutes of sharing his life with a fellow human.
Whoa.
The rough sleeper in Blandford a year ago. After waking him up, I walk my dog in town every day. After waking him up with homemade toast and a cup of coffee in a really nice cup, he had probably seen enough disposable Costa cups in his life, I hear a voice a few days later in town. "You're a runner, aren't you? You always run." Oh, it's him. And he empties out half of his backpack and hands over a whole pile of energy gels and looks so happy. He has a chance to give. Connection. Cheerful cup first. Hey, good morning. And then we talk about the way forward for him. We are here for you. The colleague I visit daily during cancer treatment, who does not want to talk cancer, who wants to talk about life and not death, with a friend. Not being a cancer patient in the first instance, but being a colleague and friend craving human contact. Yes, I'm here. The detainee in the Verne Immigration Detention Centre here on Portland, who has been caught up in legal procedures way beyond his understanding, and who talks for hours about his background as a child soldier, and who admits that he is longing to have a pair of jeans. That is against the regulations of the befriending service, but I do it anyway. A young human like any other. After weeks of stories and sorting out jeans and other garments and phone credit and more talking, we get on to the emails to the Home Office, night after night after night, until they give up and release him. Human first, jeans first, and the rest will follow. The old person who wants to talk about themselves and their lives because they have chosen you to talk to. Let them talk. Again and again. And then let's take them to the seniors dance club, but only after having been there for them. As a party and as individuals, we are passionate about our communities. But we cannot build community top down. We need to become genuine partners, equals amongst equals. We are here, come and come again. We do not need a minister for loneliness, and we do not need a minister for suicide.
Yeah.
We all need to become ministers for loneliness,
Yes.
and ministers for suicide, and ministers for hunger and poverty, and ministers for sickness and for homelessness. And we may encourage other individuals, groups and organizations in our communities to become true partners and to work with us. We will only be credible if we have a genuine concern for the person behind the door we knock at, or for the groups we see in our communities that are less fortunate. What is it you need? We will walk with you and work with you in your community because we care.
So good.
And if you ask us for help, we will find it for you.
Yes.
If we can commit to the happiness of a puppy, we can do it for the humans around us. In the words of Büchner, our message to those we are reaching out to is, our place is where our gladness meets your sadness. Or in other words, Labour's place is where our values meet your needs. So in our upcoming campaigns in North Dorset, in Poole, Christchurch, Bournemouth, Norwich, let's make the connections and make them sincerely. We are here and we care. As I said at the beginning, the lives we touch for good or ill will touch another. And who knows where the trembling will stop.
Woo!